Am I the asshole for breaking my promise to my stepkids and abandoning and traumatizing them
This is a 2-minute video. What the fuck?
because I did not want to parent them anymore? I met Will when I was 22. Will was 29, with 2 kids.
Wait, what you say from the beginning?
Am I the asshole for breaking my promise to my stepkids and abandoning and traumatizing them because I did not want to parent them anymore? I met Will when I was 22. Will was 29, with 2 kids, and had newly been widowed. We had whirlwind courtship where he introduced me to the kids and got me involved in their lives very early. First few days after I met him, Will said really quickly he was sure I was the one. Not only for himself but also for his kids. That we'd have an incredible, happy family life. We got married when I was 23, Will was 30, and his kids were 8 and 6. Our wedding ceremony also included me and the kids making promises to each other, which was Will's idea. Soon Will shoved all the childcare onto me. I wasn't a stay-at-home spouse, I worked full-time and always have. But he always had reasons for me to do the childcare, him being sore from doing a physical job, me being better at it since I babysat kids this age in the past and he never had. Or girl stuff for his daughter. Or cooking or anything. He always had some reason and it ended up always on me.
Damn.
He started playing video games and relaxing from getting home until bed, because he was tired and he was bringing in the money and keeping the roof over everyone's heads, though that wasn't really true. He said he deserved to relax. Then he went out with his friends or brought them back to drink beer and watch loud TV. He developed a major attitude with me, and encouraged same in the kids. They found it funny. He started openly disrespecting me and encouraged them to also. He was the ultimate fun dad and I got put in the role of the mean witch. Sometimes they all ganged up on me and mocked me. But also all expected me to serve them and constantly be jumping up to
she got trapped. She's done.
By the end of the first year I realized the marriage was a big mistake.
Yeah, she's trapped.
But felt guilty leaving because of my promises to the kids.
Another
year went by and I realized that no matter how I tried, and how I knew they were only kids and I didn't really blame them, I genuinely hated both of the kids. And I could not lie to myself anymore and pretend that I loved them. I did not, and I never would. One day I just walked out, packed up everything of mine and moved out while nobody was at home. I left a note explaining it wasn't working and saying goodbye. That was the end.
Is that illegal?
Huge shitstorm from my ex and a bitter divorce. But we both walked away with what we went into the marriage with, not much for either of us. I had never legally adopted the kids so I had no rights or responsibilities about them and I never reached out to any of them again.
Damn.
Honestly I was overjoyed to be rid of all of them. 15 years have gone by and that seems like a lifetime ago, or another person's life, but I'm still in my 30s. I was recently shocked to get a message from Tamara, Will's daughter, now 25.
Damn.
Tamara said I betrayed and traumatized her for life for abandoning them after my promises to them. She said I had a responsibility to never leave no matter what. I know she remembers the horrible way she treated me though. Am I the asshole for—
Is she wrong? Is she wrong? Who's wrong here? On one side, it was like the honeymoon stage. So like she was in love with the husband. She had a good time. They're chilling. You know what I'm saying? Chatting. You know what I'm saying? Doing normal. Why is Siri talking to me? Doing normal couple stuff. And then over time, it became more of a dependency on the wife, a new stepmom. And then it's like it morphed into a different thing. And then it's just like, yeah, I didn't sign up for all this, and everyone's jumping on me, and now I was talking about promise. I don't blame that stuff. Stepmom, I'm not gonna lie to you. Stepmom's not wrong. Stepmom's not wrong at all. And it's like, oh yeah, you traumatized me. Like, come on, bro. Like, if that was the case, why can't people be normal? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think she was wrong. I think she was right for leaving. You can't do nothing about that if you traumatize the other kid, but like she could have been there in a bad mental health. It could just spiral down the fucking like rabbit hole. Like, it could have got really bad.
Am I the asshole for telling my—
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing more. Am I the asshole
for telling—
Look. Am I the asshole? I'm not trying to read all these. Am I the asshole? You legitimate. Here we go. That was actually kind of crazy.
My best friend doesn't know that his kid is actually mine. Me.
Oh, wow.
And my best friend Tyler have been friends since the 8th grade. He was the first person I came out to as bi and the first person I told about my dad hitting me. I even stayed with his family for a while during high school. He joined the army out of high school and I ended up dating and moving in with his older brother while going to college. He met a girl Susie while visiting me and his brother while on leave. They started dating and eventually he proposed. During the time me and his brother were having issues and Susie was always lonely when Tyler was gone and we started an affair. Things started getting better with Tyler's brother and Tyler was leaving the army and coming home for good and we both felt guilty about the affair so me and Susie decided to end it. We had one last fling about it 2 weeks before Tyler came home. Susie ended up pregnant and deciding not to tell him the truth she just told Tyler it was his. I went on to marry Tyler's brother while him and Susie got married. They now have 2 other kids together. Tyler still doesn't know that his first son isn't his and even though he almost looks nothing like Tyler. I've always felt guilty for not claiming my kid and betraying my best friend. My best friend doesn't know.
No, you're going to hell. No, you're done. You're cooked. Like, what the hell? Like, you're cooked. You're fried.
I lied. I did give you the slice of pizza that dropped on the ground. To my sister. When we were kids, I offered you a slice of pizza when you got into the car and you knew I dropped it on the ground. You knew. You questioned me about it and I lied to your face because I was angry. I spent years trying to figure out why I did that. And why I was so angry with you, but it turns out I wasn't angry with you. I was angry that our mother left us, our dad avoided—
What? Like, not to laugh about the situation, but how did we get from dropping a piece of pizza on the floor to I was mad, but I wasn't angry at you. I was mad that like, what?
us, and we were stuck with an abusive stepmother. But you were the only good thing I had to. I guess I tried to push you away before you could leave me too. I kills me that I was so mean to you for a while because you were such a great person, you have a huge heart and you just didn't deserve that. So, I'm sorry. I lied, I did.
That was, okay.
When I was 14, I stole weed from my dad and when I got caught I put the blame on my best friend.
Oh. What happened? Okay, next one.
I have entered a sexual relationship with my childhood bully's mother. It's the most incredible
Oh my, the biggest get back of life. That is the biggest get back
sex I think I'll ever have.
Biggest,
I'm 24 and male for context.
biggest get back.
As a young teen he used to gang up with his friends and bully me for literally no reason. Well, we eventually grew up and school ended, but honestly the—
What's going on? What happened? This is the video. Come on, tell you. Try and hear this.
For literally no reason. Well, we eventually grew up and school ended, but honestly the bullying still fucks with me. About 2 months ago I recognized his mom at a bar.
Oh my
God. She's
God.
one of those young and hot moms and I'm not the shy loser I used to be.
Oh my God.
She doesn't know who I am or what her son did. She was single and we hit it off and she came to my place that night and I fucked her.
No.
That night and I fucked her like it was our wedding night. Even years later I fucking hate her son so much and fucking his mom has been incredible and even though I did this initially purely for revenge she's actually a wonderful person and I want to see where this goes and hopefully at least be able to be civil with him. She told me she has a son about my age early on which I know obviously and this week she asked
Please. I gotta get the whole story. Stop loading, bro. Stop loading. The momentum's not carrying through. I'm liking it.
When I was 4, I have entered a sexual relationship with my obviously and this week she asked since we've been together for a couple months and are serious if I wanted to meet him this weekend. I said sure. What? We're having dinner Saturday night and I'm equally excited and nervous. I feel bad that this started as petty revenge because she deserves better than that but the fact is her son's a fucking prick and a loser. I grew up, I got in better shape, I have a decent job and make good money while he still lives with his mommy and doesn't work. Well, he's going to be in for a big surprise this weekend. She mentioned he was already uncomfortable that her new boyfriend is his age but oh man is he in for a world of hurt.
Oh my God, that's the ultimate get back.
Stepdad, move into that house and tell him he needs to either get a job or get out.
As his stepdad,
I won't let him be a burden to his mother anymore and when he hears how vocal his mom is during sex he's going to want to move out anyway unless he enjoys hearing me breed his mother every night. This weekend is going to be great. I can't wait to see the look on his face. I have entered a sexual relationship. You can tell as many people as you want, but take a good look. And here's
11, 12, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
I met someone who claimed to be the devil. A small.
And it's 16 parts of this.
I am attracted to chubby/fat women. It seems like this is getting to be a more popular opinion, but it can still be very touchy to bring up in a group setting. Lots of guys will make fun of you for liking bigger girls and it sucks. Skeptical. Honestly, I also feel a bit of shame for not being able to own up to my preference. I know some guys who are loud and proud about their love for chunky girls and I want that same level of confidence. So I guess this is my first attempt at being proud of my attraction. Chubby girls are the best though. I've been with one for a couple months now and it fucking rocks. She loves to cook. She loves to lounge around. She loves to eat and is always taking me out to try something new and delicious.
That's nice.
She's the best cuddle buddy I've ever had by a mile. And the sex is so awesome that it's honestly kind of
Why did it change like that? Why is the announcer getting excited? The sex is so awesome. Like, why is he getting excited?
It's honestly kind of
why you get excited like that?
And the best buddy I've ever had by a mile. And the sex is so awesome that it's honestly kind of unfair to skinny girls. Lol.
Nah, that's
After
crazy.
typing this up, I already feel more confident. I am attracted to chubby/fat women. My ex-girlfriend cheated on me, so I hooked up with and started dating her mom. She's obviously not happy and I think I might be her stepdad someday. Her mom is a widow and hasn't been with anyone since her husband died 7 years ago. She was young when she got pregnant and is only about 19 years older than me.
I was going to say 19 years old is
crazy.
Who takes
really good care of herself and she was always really nice to me and almost flirty but not really. I dated her daughter for about a year and we always had a good relationship, and because she was alone, my girlfriend's mom and a widow, I helped her around the house sometimes. Just basic handyman shit, like I fixed a pipe once and replaced her water heater for her, some basic yard work, etc. She was always very nice and always made me lunch and offered me money. I'd take the food but turned down the cash. She was a nice lady and I loved her daughter, so I wanted to make sure she was okay.
That's nice.
Well, after I found out my ex cheated on me and we broke up, her mom messaged me on Facebook and said she heard we broke up and was sorry to hear that. She said she was surprised that we broke up because things seemed like they were going well. I told her in a gentle and not shit-talking her daughter kind of way what happened, and she said she was so sorry to hear that and disappointed in her daughter, and that if I needed to talk she was here. Well, I did and we talked, and after a while she asked if I wanted to come over for dinner and maybe a drink or two. I got there and she fed me and poured us a couple drinks, then things got heated eventually.
It's actually over.
We started dating and having sex in secret for a couple months. Honestly, I am ashamed to say I only did it to get back at my ex at first, but we ended up falling in love and we wanted to be official. We decided to tell my ex over dinner because she deserves to know the truth. She invited my ex to her house for dinner and she was shocked that I was there, of course. Her mother confessed that after we broke up we talked and started seeing each other and things clicked really well. My ex was not happy, to say the least. She called her mother every name in the book while we tried to calm her down, then she started attacking me and asking me how I could do this when I reminded her that she's the one who did this. I was happy when we were together and she's the one who decided to cheat, not me. I told her I genuinely love her mom and want to be with her and I wanted us to be on good terms and let the past be in the past.
Sick.
She
He's
ended up
sick in the
storming
head.
out of the house and driving away.
Oh,
her
yeah.
mother cried while I comforted her and she hasn't
Nigga fucked the mom and the sister, bro. What? That is legend. He's a living legend.
Her mom since
He's
the dinner
him.
3 weeks ago. I'm hoping she'll come around eventually. Things with her mom are great though. She's the most wonderful woman I've been with and I think this could be it. The age difference plus dating her daughter previously makes it a bit weird, but I want it to work and I think we can get there.
Oh my god, the worst part about it, he has genuine feelings. That's the worst part, he has genuine feelings.
I always put extra chicken nuggets whenever someone orders them. When I was working in McDonald's, whenever someone orders chicken nuggets, I usually hook them up with a couple extra. If they got the 20-piece, I usually add like 5 extra nuggies.
That's all I ask in life, bro. Why can't we have more human beings like that? Whenever you get a 20-piece nugget or a 10-piece wings from any restaurant, bro, why can't the niggas add like 2, 3 more? If it's wings, like 2 more. If it's nuggets, 5 more, bro. Like, come on, bro. Like, they're not watching. They're not chicken watching like that, bro. Come on, bro. That's all I ask in life. Like, they're not chicken watching like that.
I asked if I could see some of the other.
Oh, part's crazy.
I volunteered for a series of experiments so I could shorten my prison sentence.
Last one.
So many people died. Prison wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be when I went in. I got 6 years for distribution and a few other related charges, but once I was in, the warden gave me a choice: serve the full 6 in a normal wing or serve 1 in a specialty block. He didn't give me a ton of details about G2 block, though I got the gist of it. I'd be a guinea pig for testing pharmaceuticals and, in return, I'd get a reduced sentence. I accepted the deal. My first 6 months in G2 were fine, bordering on boring. There were 32 of us in the block and we all had the same daily routine: wake up, shower, breakfast, free time, yard time, experiments in either group A or B, rotated weekly, dinner,
this exists?
free time.
I'm not surprised, but like, that's crazy.
There were occasional variations. Every now and then, there would be morning experiments or even doubles, but usually, it was a 3-hour block in the afternoons. We all had single cells, the food was edible, at least, and they even let me have a little TV after my first month. All in all, it could have been worse. The experiments that I participated in were mostly
you get dropped the
harmless.
first time?
Medications, usually. The lab coat folks in G2 would have me pop pills or take injections or swallow a kaleidoscope of liquids, then we'd all just wait to see what happened. The testing rooms were comfortable if bland. I'd sit in a white chair, next to a white table, surrounded by white walls.
You just
I knew
got
the drug
dropped
was
off.
supposed to be intense if they strapped me in, but 4 out of 5 times, they didn't bother with restraints. I experienced quite a few rashes, headaches, blurry vision, blood coming out of all orifices, excessive sneezing, that kind of stuff. Much worse than the pharmaceutical tests, though, were the psychological experiments.
That's
Electroshock
crazy.
therapy was a miserable experience. The sensory deprivation tank was worse. They left me floating in a completely silent, black, empty space for 48 hours. By the time the doctors pulled me out, I'd scratched up the sides of the tank to the point my fingernails were popping off. But nothing was like the signal and all of the death that came after. The lab techs brought us all into our individual white rooms like usual that day. However, there were no drugs on the table, only a device that reminded me of a metronome. The man overseeing the experiment, a gray-haired doctor I didn't recognize, made it clear I was not to touch the metronome until all of the guards and staff were out of the room.
Oh, that's hell.
The object had a metal base, maybe stainless steel, and it was shaped like a pyramid. A strip of darker metal ran from the base of the device to the tip.
Yeah.
Protruding from that strip was a narrow rod with a strange, circular gadget on top. I volunteered for a series of experiments. I waited until they gave me a signal from the intercom, then I tapped the device. The rod with the circular cap began to rock back and forth horizontally. It reminded me of piano practice when I was a kid, the metronome gently swaying and providing a pace. But this felt different. For one thing, the device was silent. There was no telltale tick-tick-tick like a true metronome. For another, the rod wasn't moving evenly. It jerked and stuttered like a puppet with uneven strings. Nothing else happened for nearly a minute. Then, suddenly, the room was filled with sound. Flooded with it. Not the tick-tick-tick I expected, but
that's hell. That's actually like
the volume of the
torture.
Frequency increased until I was folded up in the corner of the room.
Yeah.
Hands over my ears.
How can you
begging
imagine?
for them to turn it off. My eyes were closed until I felt a gentle hand touch my shoulder. It was the gray-haired doctor. The experiment was over, he told me. The room was blessedly silent. I thought they'd take me back to my cell, but, instead, they took me into a large holding cell already full of other prisoners. It was the rest of G2 block. 32 of us total in one big cage. What's going on? I asked one of the guards through the bars. He ignored me and left the room. All of the staff did.
This
I
nigga's
was
in the
left
back
alone
room.
with
Fuck
the other
that.
inmates.
You
I
niggas actually in
grabbed
the
a seat
back
on
room.
one of the benches and tried to relax. My ears hurt. They ached and it was only getting worse. Compared to some of the other guys, though, I was in good shape. I noticed several prisoners twitching, shaking, or talking to themselves. One guy, Robbie, was taping his fist against his temples. He hit himself harder and harder until one of the other men restrained him.
Who's trying to knock himself
I looked around the
out?
room for a camera until I spotted one in the corner outside of the bars. I gestured towards Robbie, but there was no response. Too loud, Robbie yelled, pushing free. The signal. Too loud. Other prisoners were muttering about a signal, too. Some were bashing their heads against the bars or pulling out their hair. I estimated about
it was a
half of
life
the
sentence,
guys in the room
though.
were losing it.
Yo,
Hey,
what y'all doing?
I shouted, waving at the camera in the corner. You gotta help us. Get me out of here. There was a ringing in my ears, but the chaos in the cell was quickly drowning that out. One of the newer guys on G2, a skinny meth head, was punching the bars. He hit the metal again and again, hard enough that I saw his fingers break. A little man named Stavos was the first to go completely berserk. He leapt on another prisoner and bit the guy's face, tearing off a chunk of skin from his cheek. Everywhere there was noise, screaming, clanging, shouting.
Yo,
I felt
these
an arm
niggas
wrap
are
around my throat and just as
animals.
quickly release as my attacker was himself attacked. I waited until I backed into a corner and called.
What's your
I
strong
asked if
part?
I could.
Got
I
2 more
backed
parts
into a
left?
corner and called out for help. Not everyone in the cage was going crazy, but those who were seemed nearly possessed. It might have been the adrenaline warping my perception, but some of the prisoners were changing. Growing bigger. Nastier. Swelling. One of the biggest of the bunch grabbed 2 bars and pulled. To my absolute stupefaction, the metal screeched and gave way, creating a hole the size of manhole cover. The giant tried climbing through but didn't fit. He roared and turned his attention to ripping one of the benches from its bolts.
What?
His loss was my gain. I clambered through the opening in the
Yo,
bars and then
6
took off for the
months
door at a
or
run.
this?
A red light began
for
flashing
life
and
or
an alarm
this?
squealed. They were going to lock down this
I guess your
section of
life
the
is over
prison.
anyway, right?
I'd be trapped. No, no, please, I screamed, trying the door. It was locked. I kicked and scratched and yelled at it, but that was no good.
Damn.
Then, I heard something thudding towards me, moving fast. I barely jumped out of the way before the big guy rammed into the door, knocking it flying from its hinges. He stood panting like a bull at a discount rodeo. The man had grown at least a foot taller since we first got into the cells. I risked a glance back and saw that the cage was studded with twisted bars and filled with dead bodies.
Oh
The
my
few that were
god.
still breathing were quickly turning into monsters. Spurts, of course. Dark hair grew on them, or the beginnings of ram's horns or thick antlers.
Okay, this is a story
now. The big man
now.
stalked off through the destroyed door and I followed.
This is not real life.
He
I was about to say.
ignored me. Maybe he didn't think
Good story,
I was
though.
worth his attention. I
Ram
didn't care, and I
horns?
wasn't confident
Guess
the
they're
other 5 or 6
experiments.
creatures back in the cell would be so accommodating. The red lights were still flashing in the hallway and the sirens still sounded. I figured the big guy could punch us right out of the lockdown. I figured wrong. We hadn't gone more than a dozen yards into the hall before gas began to pump out through the vents. The giant roared, his face longer and larger, more feral
What the
than
fuck?
before.
Who's he turning into?
The last thing I saw before
Okay,
submitting
Elden
to the
Ring
gas
creature
was him
beast?
falling over.
Like, what the fuck?
I woke up in the prison infirmary. Physically, they told me I was fine. When I asked what
this nigga
happened,
saying a
they
bad
said
dream.
the experiment ended up causing mass hallucinations.
Oh.
Some prisoners got hurt in the confusion, but nothing serious. And hey, turns out it was my lucky day. They decided I'd served my time and I was eligible for immediate release. Only thing was, I had to sign a bunch of papers agreeing to stay silent about G2 blocks.
This nigga's done.
And they promised I'd be back for my full sentence with time tacked on for good measure. I backed into a corner and called out for help. I asked if I could see some of the other guys from G2. They said no. I signed the papers and left, but I kept an eye out for what I knew was coming.
Can we see his mans?
Sure enough, obituaries began to trickle out over the next year. Obituaries for the men I saw die that day in the cell. Most of the posts were short, and I had to find them. That's the thing about the prisoners in G2 block. We were specifically picked because we wouldn't be missed. There wouldn't be too many questions. I knew that my parole was about the world's cheapest bribe. And I know that they're still watching me. But I have to put this out there, I have to leave some record of what happened.
Yeah, I think I
Because that ringing in my ears after the test, it never went away. It's only gotten worse. My theory is that the signal is an infection that spreads faster in some people than others.
Yeah,
but that's how I feel. Infected. I asked if I could see.
What the fuck? Yeah, we're done.